That's agility. Montserrat Caballé was one of those singers that we studied when I was in undergrad and grad school for opera. We broke her down a lot. What an amazing vocal talent. And this is the first time, I think, on the channel I've officially broken down an actual, real deal opera singer. And I'm going to do it in a really fun context because I want to react to this. This is the Freddie Mercury, Montserrat Caballé, Barcelona, the original David Mallet video, 1987, remastered. We're going to check out this famous performance. I haven't actually seen this music video, so this will be fun. I knew about this song. I never really got granularly into breaking it down, so I'm super excited to do that. My name's Tim. I've been a vocal coach for the last 25 years. Building voices is my life's work. Before that, I used to study opera. I performed in Germany. I performed opera all over. I did musical theater as well. I wrote a musical, sang with rock bands, electronic music projects here in New York. I've used to play piano bar. I've been all over the map musically, and I bring all of that into my reactions for you all over here. If you are looking for voice lessons, I have an amazing team of teachers. This is my website right here. I have an amazing team of teachers that teach under my tutelage here in the Manhattan, tri-state, Philadelphia area. We do in-person lessons out here. I'm so proud of these amazing teachers. We do in-person lessons out here, but we have students online all over the world in every style of singing. So if you need a voice teacher, hit us up. The link is down in the description. Last thing to tell you about, over on Patreon, I have an amazing community of people who are supporting the channel. I put up as much content as I can over there. We have lots of reactions. I put up pretty much double the amount of content over on Patreon as I do on YouTube. So if you'd like to come join the community, come on over. The link for that is also in the description. Okay, here we go. Let's break this down. This will be really fun to compare the technical vocal production of Freddie and Montserrat in this performance here. So let's get going. This is a famous historic performance. All right, without further ado, let's do it. Here we go. So happy. His baton feels like modern day, kind of, right? LED. There they are.
I had this perfect dream.
Sueño me envolvió.
This dream was me and you.
Tal vez estás aquí.
I want all the world to see.
El instinto me guiaba.
Miracle sensation, my guide and inspiration. Now my dream is slowly coming true.
This is so beautiful. You can really hear the pop vocal techniques and the classical vocal techniques side by side. We're going to get into these.
The wind is a gentle breeze. The bells are ringing out. They're calling us together, binding us forever. Wish my dream would never go away.
Ah!
Barcelona. It was the first time that we met.
Work for it now.
How can I forget the moment that you stepped into the room? You took my breath away.
Wow.
Barcelona. God will meet again.
All right, let's stop for a second here and talk about these vocals a little bit. Wow, this is really fun to see. This is super fun to see. So here's the thing. What's the difference between contemporary commercial music, pop rock vocal techniques, and opera. I mean, this is really what it's all about. And here, I'm just going to break it down real quick for you. In contemporary commercial music, we have what's called movable larynx position, where yeah, 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 ha. When you go for high notes in pop singing, your larynx elevates some. Yeah! And it creates a thinner tone on the top. Yeah! And when you go down lower, you open your throat and it creates more depth of tone. So there's a lot of tone quality diversity in the depth of the tone as a contemporary commercial music singer like Freddie Mercury is here. With Montserrat Caballé, she has the what I call neutral larynx position, which is where she has a stability and a relaxed lowering of the larynx, whether she's singing high or low. So that unifies the tone quality, which that's a big difference between opera singing and contemporary commercial music. Oh, her larynx isn't going, oh, it's not changing elevation as she changes pitch. That's one of the big differences. We're going to get into more of them as we keep going. Let's keep listening, though.
Let the songs begin. Let the music play.
Yeah! So, right there. What she just did right there reminded me of a funny story. But I'll tell you about that in a second. So, Freddie Mercury, he got grittier right there. Yeah! He did that. Boy, talk about contrast from opera singing to contemporary commercial music, right? So what he was doing is he was activating his false chords. We activate our false chords in singing by compression. Compression is the cinching of the pharynx. The pharynx is the space above the larynx in the back of your throat. And when you cinch that, you bring the mucosal membranes on the outer walls of the throat into the stream of air, and they start to vibrate. At a low level of doing that, it just sounds squeezy. It doesn't have the extra gritty stuff in the tone. As you start to increase the squeeze, we start getting these gritty, growly sounds. That's obviously not a part of opera, right? Opera is like the complete opposite. Opera is all about, it's about open tube. It's about hollowness in the back. It's about creating the perfect acoustic chamber space to resonate, to make the most sound in a comfortable, natural way to fill the opera house. These styles of singing were built for different purposes. Contemporary commercial music is built for singing with a mic. Opera is built for singing into an opera house with no mic. Let's go back and hear Freddie getting gritty a little bit here.
Songs begin. Let the music play.
Yeah. So now right there, that little so this feels like a call and response section here where it's like he does something, she does something. He does something, she does something. And that little moment right there where he said words, but then she just did an ah. I used to sing with a soprano. When I lived in Colorado, I used to sing with Central City Opera's outreach program. And I was performing, I think her name was Amy. Amy, if you watch this, hey, good to see you. I was singing with a soprano, an amazing soprano, Amy, and we were singing the duet Wunderbar from Kiss Me Kate. And she has to go up on like an A flat at the end, like I love it's wunderbar. And we both were supposed to say the words wunderbar, but because it was hard for her in that octave to articulate words, which is very common for the soprano voice, she just said, like I love it's wunderbar. She didn't really say any words because she was like, I'm not saying the words. You say the words, Tim. So this is a common thing. So I wonder if in the writing, Freddie had actual lyrics for her to sing here, but she was like, just let me do an ah.
Let the music play.
Let the music. Like she could have said, let the music play there, but she just went, ah. I don't know. It just reminded me of that moment from back in the day singing opera with Amy. Well, technically musical theater, but nah.
Voices sing. Stop the celebrations and cry.
Yeah. This is fun.
Take the foundations from the skies.
Oh, that's. Wow.
Barcelona.
See that openness? Wow. What a way to start the day, man. So fun. So check this out. You know, I think about, well, first of all, there was a little We Are the Champions in there. Did you hear that little? Yeah. Right there. Very cool, huh? All right, before we get to that part. So, interesting thing. You know, Freddie Mercury's not singing operatically, but man, this is such an operatic creation, right? It's so he's so good at the drama, right? I mean, that was his thing. He's just so dramatic, right? And it plays in perfectly with this song. And this was about, I believe this was about Barcelona, if I remember right. Barcelona was the Olympic where they were doing the Olympics, and Freddie thought that would be a good collab to do with Montserrat, and then she agreed to do it, and they wrote the song. I think that was what it was about. If you know the specific details, let me know down in the comments, but I think that's what it was. So if you notice, Montserrat's tone always stays in that open. It's got the openness and the ringiness. And in opera, when we're studying that, we call that chiaroscuro, which is also a term used in visual arts as well, historically, when we talk about art. So chiaro is the clear or brightness of the tone, and scuro is the dark. That's the openness of the tone. And in opera, that's our big thing we work on, is that we need the ringiness. The ringiness is what cuts the orchestra. But we don't want it to get too ringy and shallow. We need that depth of tone to give all of that color and texture to the tone. And that's what opera singing is. And she was historically a master of that tone. You can hear it in her sound, how much resonance and power she has in her voice in a seemingly effortless way of singing. Contemporary commercial music singing is very different than that, very different. So one of the big differences is that in contemporary singing, you have, there will be times where there's airflow allowance in the tone. Freddie Mercury was a master of that. Yeah, that kind of husky, pull us in, airflowy scratchiness. We don't do that in opera because we don't have a microphone, and that's a very quiet sound. And you wouldn't come out past the woodwinds if you sang like that in an opera, unless there's no instrumentation, obviously. But
let the songs begin.
So notice how he was brassy and ringy, but then as he exited the phrase, he let a little huskiness in and sort of windiness into his tone. We don't do that in opera very much. There's always a little bit of focus in it because you're thinking of that projecting your voice with no microphone thing.
Let the songs begin.
See how ringy she is?
Let the music play.
So you could hear right there the grit. He activated the false chords. The false chords just sit right above the regular chords, and they get vibrating when you bring them in. It doesn't look like an actual another set of vocal cords, by the way. It just looks like the walls of your throat are kind of coming into the stream of air, like cinching. So this part is so operatic. It's really like da-da, 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 this call and response that keeps escalating. And she even gave the little turando to she gave the fingers. That's such an opera soprano thing to do. Wow, that was some great high notes. Which is a really interesting thing about opera singing and contemporary commercial music singing. When you get high enough in the voice, the techniques actually unify because you don't have a ton of options when you're singing a high C as a male or female singer, when we get way up in the operatic stratosphere, the techniques get very, very similar. Like the larynx will elevate slightly. You will see a slight tipping of the head. Universal, like there are definite similarities in pop and opera when we get high enough. All the differences happen in the mid-lower ranges of the voices and slightly upper notes. Hear that agility? Oh, such good agility. Yeah. I love that harmony there. Those harmonies are so good. He's about to punch. And we all know, of course, Freddie Mercury with Queen, they have a tendency toward the operatic styles anyway with Bohemian Rhapsody. Ooh, that would be a fun one to do a breakdown of. Yeah. So, oh God, there's just so much to talk about vocally here. Notice Freddie Mercury's head position changes. When he goes up to really high belty notes, he is a case study in head position technique for high notes. When you belt high, you've got to get the roof of your mouth away from the top of your tongue to keep it in that brassy lower register posture. When you keep your head on straight, it goes through your registers differently than if you tilt your head back. And you notice like pop singers do have a slight tilt of their head back, almost like a Pez dispenser, I say when I'm teaching. Freddie Mercury I use as an example of that technique all the time. There's a video of him doing Play the Game, really great song, where he does this perfect head tilt back that I use in my lessons all the time. It's just like this here. I love that harmony. That harmony is so cool right there. Hear that openness? See, right there, you see Freddie? Space between the top of his tongue and the roof of his mouth, the bottom of the roof of the mouth. You need to create that space right there. Can I zoom in? Oh, no. Oh, I guess I can kind of zoom in. You need to create that space right there if you want to have cool belt high notes and not have your body try to cover them or push them into falsetto. A nice operatic cadenza. What does he say at the end? Barcelona. Is that what he says at the end? Barcelona. Okay. It's very operatic. It's like, that's amore. It really has like... Oh, I don't think I've ever really broken this down. I've heard it, but I haven't really like thought about it, especially in, I don't know, the last decade or two. I don't know. Oh my God, this is so magical. See, now it's all cell phones out in the audience, right? Or like glow sticks. But now they have lighters here, which I thought was interesting. The baton of the conductor, that he had that glow, like that felt very now. That felt very 2025. I've been reacting to a lot of like Japanese artists, and I see in the concerts so much LED, interesting lights out in the concerts that it made me feel like I was right in 2025 for a second there. Barcelona, right? Oh, this was so fun. Yes, I love breaking down these classic performances. I'm going to have to start doing this more. What great first one to do. Okay, wow. What did you all think? What was your favorite part of that? What little fun facts do you all have? I know that if I end up getting some of the Queen Freddie Mercury crew to connect up, and also the Montserrat Caballé fan base, I'm sure I'm going to get lots of awesome fun facts from you all, and I really appreciate those. So don't hesitate to leave some comments about what you loved about this performance, what you heard in the vocal techniques. Very interesting, the differences in the way that they sing between the two of them, and how it also just works so well together. Like I really what a cool historical song that is. So thanks for checking this out. All the stuff. Subscribe, like it if you are, if you want to stay connected with me. Really appreciate it. I'll see you in my next reaction. More to come. I'm definitely going to have to get to some more Queen for sure. So let me know recommendations for some Queen songs if you'd like down in the comments. All right, I'll see you soon. Cheers.